moment of it during the last 2 weeks preparing for my audition. "Your assignments in this class are always rushed," he went on. "But I've seen evidence in all of them that you are capable of a deeper level of critical thinking. Unfortunately, it's never consistent. You don't check your work, and a lot of your essays are missing a conclusion. Sometimes, I suspect you don't even read the required texts." I was pretty sure most of the kids in class watched the movies instead of reading the books, but I could hardly use that to justify my own crappy grades. I kept my face blank and glanced at the clock. We were 5 minutes into lunch now, and I wondered how much longer this lecture would go on. Given how disappointed Mr. Randall was, I was guessing it could take a while. "If you don't get an A on your next assignment, you're going to fail my class," he said. "What?" The blood drained from my face, and I couldn't stop my crafted look of indifference from dropping. I knew I was falling behind in English, but I couldn't believe it had gotten so bad that I was now failing. He nodded, far too seriously for my liking. "You've been getting D's all semester, and you need to raise your grade dramatically." "But there's no way I'll ever get that kind of grade," I said. "And rehearsals are going to start later this week. I'm going to have even less time for homework." "If you have time for drama rehearsals, you have time to complete your next assignment to a high standard." It was such a teacher's response. He clearly didn't understand how important the school play was to me, or how little I cared about English in comparison. It's not like I was going to become a poet once I left school. "Okay, I'll do better with the next assignment," I said, in an attempt to bring the conversation to an end. I had no doubt I'd probably fail again, but there was little point in trying to convince Mr. Randall of that. "Can I go now?" Mr. Randall nodded, and I didn't hesitate as I swiftly turned to leave the room. I couldn't get out of there quick enough. "What's with the sour face?" Evan asked as I whipped past him. He was standing by the doorway, but I was in such a bad mood that I'd completely forgotten he was waiting for me. I quickly schooled my features, shoving down the irritation that was prickling against my skin. "Mr. Randall wanted to talk about the assignment. It's no big deal." Evan's brow creased as he looked at me. "No big deal? You sure about that?" I hated lying to my best friend, but I'd learned pretty early in life that no one ever really wanted to hear about your problems, and a listening ear never seemed to solve them either. If anything, it only offloaded your worries onto someone else's shoulders. My shoulders were strong enough to carry all my problems on my own, and I'd never want to burden my friends with them. I gave him a sweet smile. "Of course, I'm sure. I probably just looked a bit sour because I can't stop thinking about the cast list." Evan laughed. "You don't need to worry. Everyone knows you're going to get the part of Belle." Our play this year was a reimagining of Beauty and the Beast in a modern-day setting. I'd practically devoured the script before my audition and was surprised by how dark and gritty it was. I was actually looking forward to this play and was desperate to get the lead. I'd been cast as the main part in some of our school plays in the past, but that wasn't a guarantee I would get the role I wanted now. This year, the stakes seemed so much higher, too. Miss Appleby had worked as a talent scout before she became a teacher. She'd hinted that she might be able to get one of her old colleagues who still worked in the industry to come watch the production. I wanted to be an actress more than anything, so it was vital I got the part. "Well, I'm sure you're going to be Beast," I said. Evan's audition had been great. He wasn't nearly as obsessed with acting as I was, but he had a flair for being dramatic, and naturally shone whenever he was on stage. "I think Miss Appleby might worry I'm too beautiful for the part," he said, making me laugh. "What? That woman is in love with me, I swear." I shook my head, refusing to encourage him. The boy was far too charming for his own good, and already had half the staff in school eating out of the palm of his hand. "It's your own fault," I said. "You're always complimenting her and flashing her that smile of yours." "What smile?" he said, giving me an example of the exact smile I was talking about. He totally knew it, too. He'd refined the look when we were still in kindergarten and had been getting his way with it ever since. "Don't you use that thing on me," I said. He slung an arm around my shoulder and drew me close. "Wouldn't dream of it, Teags. I already know you're immune to my charms." I laughed and shoved his arm off me. "You know..."